Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to some Hold My Kebab. Yes, Hold My Kebab. The weekend is approaching. I mean, it's a few days away, and you know what, this weekend is going to be a fantastic weekend. And why is that? Because I have no kids for the weekend, baby. Yeah, I've got no kids for the weekend. My mother is having the kids for this weekend, and me and the wife is having a little break, a much needed break, to be honest. At the minute, my life is quite busy, quite hectic, and quite stressful. Things going on in my life right now. But you know, without talking about what's happening, we're taking a break. We're taking a little break, just a night away to the seaside, just me and her, nice hotel, and just me and her, some quality time together with no kids. And you know, I'm really going to enjoy that. Obviously, with having a few kids, we don't often get that time with just us, so I'm going to cherish this weekend, of course, because it is nice. It's nice to have the kids around. Of course, it's nice to have the kids around, otherwise we wouldn't have had kids. But it's also nice just to spend that quality time with your loved one as well. So yeah, the weekend is going to be great. I'm gonna eat some kebabs, I think, this weekend at the seaside, so that's why I called this Hold My Kebab. So we got two replays for you, both tier 10, the T57 Heavy, which we had a couple of days ago, and we've got a T22 Medium. So this battle, we are watching Eric G. Yes, my G. My G is, he's going to do a really good game. Now, he's using the ridgeline here. I like his playstyle here because of the ridgeline, he's able just to sort of hide under the ridge whilst he's on a reload, and he's not being attacked from pretty much anyone while he's on that reload. Now, he has to do something here because he has now tanks to the right of him, and he now has tanks to the left of him. Now, the tanks to the left, of course, is the Jagdtiger and the E100. At this point, I would probably focus on the Jagdtiger. He could clear him with 3 shells, and he had good DPM. Yes, he doesn't have the speed, but while he's a sort of one clip, I would have probably gone for the Jagdtiger, but I do understand why he's going for this E100 here. He's an easy target because the E100 doesn't want to know him. He's aiming at someone else. And of course, 2 tanks on 1 is much better than 1 tank on 1 and then another 1 tank on 1, because that's what it would have been. He would have been fighting the Jagdtiger whilst the 50 TP or whatever's here would be fighting the E100. But it is now a 3 versus 3. He's still going to focus this E100 here, probably because he thinks he's more dangerous than the Jagdtiger. But now he just needs to get what he can get, and the E100 on his team is just about to die. So he needs to do something special here. He's now on a reload. Of course, he has to choose his targets wisely. Definitely don't go for the E75. There's no point leaving 2 tanks alive and going for a full hit point tank. Go for the tanks that are 1 clips, and both of these, this E100 and the Jagdtiger, are both 1 clips. And at this point, I would now go for the E100 rather than the Jagdtiger. But of course, the Jagdtiger's the first to be spotted, so he is going to focus him, and unfortunately bounces his 2nd shot, but he does clear him on his 3rd shot. And now, luckily, the E100 comes, but he doesn't quite get the shot off, and he has this house for a bit of protection. So of course, he's going to use this house. The E100s are slow tanks, so by the time he gets here, he would have already reloaded. So what would be super useful now is if he gets a bounce. If he gets a bounce, or if he can bait this E100, and he does get that bounce. So of course, he's going to push forward. It's only going to take 2 shells to clear him. Is he going to go for the full reload? Yes, he is, but that's such a shame, because as soon as he hits that reload button, the E75 becomes available to hit. So yeah, that was a bit of unlucky. I would have done the same thing, not being funny. I would have done the exact same thing, but it was just unfortunate that E75 come when he did. But he's still on 7,000 damage now. Of course, he's going to need a bounce. At this point, he's going to need a bounce. Unless he can get this shot here and track him, keep him in his tracks, then now he's got the building to cover. He should be able to reload. It's going to take the E75 2 shots to clear him. But of course, he just needs to buy a bit of time while he's on a reload, so he has time to reload and get that shot off, because now he's a 1 shot. He has to be very careful that he doesn't bounce. And you can see him taking his time there, and he gets the kill. So 3 kills there. A very nice game, and he ends on 8,600 damage. He gets a well-deserved Klobanov, and to be honest, it didn't feel like he did that damage. Like, I'm surprised he got that much damage, because it really didn't feel like he did 8,600 damage. And that's the beauty of auto-loaders. You really are pumping up that damage, and you don't feel, even if you end with 4k damage, the battle ends, and you're like, how the hell did I get 4k damage? Because it doesn't feel like I got that much damage. But he did, and he did a brilliant job. Now, moving on to our next game here, we have a T22 Medium, and I think it's Doherty. I think it's pronounced Doherty. I'm sorry if it's not, but that's what we're going with. We're going with Doc. Let's just go with Doc. And he's driving the T22. Now, a lot of people out there, of course, when the T22 was first introduced to the game, a lot of people were saying it's overpowered, it's broken, and I was one of them. It was like, at first I was saying it's not so overpowered, but it's a super strong tank. And then when I come up against it more often, because when I first reviewed the tank, I didn't really come up against the tank. I'm just playing the tank, and I'm going to review it of how I feel the tank is performing. But when I started coming up against the tank more often, the more and more I felt it was an OP tank. But lately, people have started to say that the tank's gone downhill. It doesn't perform as well, and mostly that's due to people knowing how to deal with it, or people not knowing how to play it. But our guy here, Doc, he's going to just showcase what this tank is capable of in the right hands, and it's super annoying. It really is an annoying tank, because it's a medium with just stupid armor profile, an immense armor profile. Of course, it is a pike nose as well, so it has some weak points. The lower plate is weak, but for me, it's just the armor profile, the side armor, even the rear armor. Reverse side scraping in this thing is an absolute beast, and you can already see he's already bounced 420 from the WZ, and he's not even really angling. He's coming out sideways against the WZ, and he still manages to get the bounce. Of course, this tank has DPM as well, 3,000, almost 3,000. It's about 3,500 DPM, just like that of the T62 and the Object 140, and of course the newish tank, the Object 907 as well. Now, I love the fact that he's relocating here. He can see how many tanks are in that corner, so he's thinking, right, I can't stay there. Yes, there are a few tanks around here, but if he stayed there, he would have just been torn apart. So he's relocating, he's using the speed, looking around the map, what tank can he go for next, and he's just found, and he's got his eyes set on this this Death Star there, and he doesn't have faith in his team or himself. He just says lost, because he thinks it's lost. Now, if he side scrapes here, he would get a bounce, and he does just that. And this is what the armor profile can do in the T22. You're aiming at things at the armor profile where you think that you can pen, and it just bounces, and it's really, really annoying. So I love the fact that he relocated, and he realized that he needed to get the hell out of there, and definitely it was a game-changing decision. So now there's just 3 tanks here, all on one tank, because this tank and the Death Star were then isolated away from the team, and they just got absolutely bullied. And now, because he's still full hit points, I mean, 1,300 block damage so far, he's done pretty well to stay full hit points. But there is still a lot of tanks out there, and there's still a lot of hit points to get through. Of course, in my opinion, he needs to ignore the Sidewinder, ignore the Sheridan for now, and go for the one shots. Clear the WZ-113, because that has fantastic DPM. Clear the Jag Tiger, because that has fantastic DPM. And then after that, then obviously go for the slower tanks that he can possibly circle and just completely out DPM. So here comes the Sheridan, and again he gets another bounce. So OP gameplay, and I love the fact, look, he's hiding that pike nose of his. He's hiding the lower plate, and he's just trying to angle his sides. And sometimes when you over angle this tank, that is where you get the most bounces. So now he needs to back up, because if he doesn't back up, he's going to have a tank in front of him and a tank behind, and again he gets another bounce. Now, at this point, I would personally chase that Sheridan. I would have chased him. Don't let him get away, because he's a nightmare. It's a good tank. It does damage. It's got alpha, and it's got that speed. So I would have just chased him. I would have ignored the 50 TP and gone for that Sheridan. But nevertheless, he still goes for the 50 TP, still gets the kills. He's now on 3 kills. He has lost sort of 700 hit points. He's still got a little bit of hit points left, but it is now a 1 versus 3. For him to win win this, he needs to win a 1 versus 4 and get a big amount of damage. So of course, here comes the Sheridan again. He gets a nice shot, tracking him, keeping him there, and hopefully staying there until he reloads. And again, because he's quite close to him, that is a very difficult pen for the Sheridan, and he gets away with it again, so that he's now up to 3,000 block damage and 7,100 damage. But here comes the Jagdtiger. Please, Jagdtiger, don't do it. He done it. He done it. Why do that? Why do that? Why not let the IS-7 push? Why is the IS-7 not pushing? Why are they letting a one-shot, basically a one-shot pushing, whilst this guy that's got half of his hit points left just hiding behind a rock? And again, like, silly decisions like this cost games. Silly decisions. That was a silly what was the Jagdtiger thinking? Maybe if the T22 was a one-shot and the Jagdtiger was a two-shot, then yeah, maybe do that then. But the T22 wasn't a one-shot. And again, he gets another bounce. So this is a medium tank. This is a medium tank that has got almost 4,000 block damage. And on top of that block damage, he gets himself 6 kills and just shy of 9,000 damage. 8,908 damage. Absolutely incredible. And this is what this tank can still do in the right hands. Absolutely amazing. In the wrong hands, of course, it's not great, but in the right hands, you can get those kind of bounces and you can get that kind of damage. 8,900, 2,100 base XP, which is an immense amount of XP. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. There won't be no more replay videos this week, as I've said, because I'm going away. I've got no time with the update. I haven't got time to record any replays, so I do apologise on that. But they will come back for next week, for the weekend. Probably Sunday, I'll do some more Hold My Beer. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With